Hello, my name is Eric Taylor, and on behalf of California State Parks, welcome to Prairie City State Vehicular Recreation Area. Today, I'm excited to share with you a side of Prairie City that most people only see through the windows of passing cars, our vernal pool management areas. So come on, let's explore.
Together, we'll discover the wonderful world of vernal pools and why these rare habitats are deserving of our respect and protection. We'll also look closely at an ancient and endangered creature whose habitat is limited almost entirely to a fraction of vernal pools throughout California, including those at Prairie City. We'll consider how this creature has adapted to survive in the extreme wet-dry conditions of these habitats and how it relates to our diverse community of off-highway vehicular recreationists. So please stay tuned. I can't wait to explore this incredible area of our park with you. During the hot, dry months of summer, it's not uncommon for temperatures here to reach into the triple digits, depriving our prairie grasslands of water and turning its vegetation from green to gold. Fire swept through this area just last year, leaving a large section of the earth charred and black, but you wouldn't know it today. When you think vernal, think spring. Vernal pools are a rare type of seasonal wetland, and here at Prairie City, these temporary bodies of water occur when shallow depressions on the surface of our grassland landscapes fill with water during the wet and rainy months of winter and spring.
One of the things that I find most fascinating about our vernal pool management areas are these raised mounds of earth that you can see in all directions behind me. And as I look out into this beautiful grassland landscape, these raised mounds of earth exist as far as the eye can see. And it's in between these raised mounds of earth that our vernal pool surface depressions exist. And what ends up happening when rainwater fills these surface depressions is that instead of running off into some larger body of water like a river or a lake or a stream, or instead of draining down further into the subsoils, that water stays suspended in these surface depressions. And that's because just underneath my feet, just underneath this thin layer of topsoil, is a hard layer of clay. So we can think about these vernal pool surface depressions almost as if they're clay bowls. As spring gives way to summer and warmer temperatures and drier atmospheric conditions become the norm, the water that was once suspended in the vernal pool surface depressions evaporates back up into the atmosphere. And as it does, it leaves behind these beautiful ribbons and rings of wildflowers of all different colors. And these wildflower shows are perhaps what vernal pools are best known for.
Eventually, these surface depressions dry completely, bringing an end to the vernal pool flowering phase and ushering in the dry phase, which lasts through summer and fall, when temperatures here soar into the triple digits and any hint of rain is still months away. At last, winter and spring rains again fill the surface depressions, awakening life within them and defining the vernal pool wet phase. And thus, this seasonal cycle of flooding, flowering, and drought continues as it has in these vernal pools for tens of thousands of years. And here at Prairie City, our vernal pool wetlands are home to an incredibly diverse community of plants, animals, and other living organisms, some of which exist only in California's vernal pools. And if there's one such creature that Prairie City's equally diverse community of OHV recreationists can relate to, it's the vernal pool tadpole shrimp. This ancient, federally endangered, freshwater crustacean is known as a living fossil because its appearance has changed very little over the hundreds of millions of years that it's existed. Like crabs, the vernal pool tadpole shrimp has a protective shell-like covering called a carapace. It's a bit like the helmets and chest protectors that many of our visitors wear when recreating here in the park. The vernal pool tadpole shrimp also prefers to spend its time hanging out and digging around in the mud. Sound familiar? To survive the punishing heat and drought of the vernal pool dry phase, the eggs laid by the vernal pool tadpole shrimp have adapted thick coatings, enabling them to withstand extreme temperatures in a state of inactivity. These eggs can remain inactive in the dry beds of vernal pool surface depressions for many years. These evolutionary adaptations allow the species to survive even through fire and extended periods of drought. As rains return, the eggs hatch and the vernal pool tadpole shrimp begins its life cycle anew, maturing, mating, and laying eggs before the vernal pool waters again evaporate. In this way, its life cycle is directly tied to the seasonal cycle of vernal pools themselves.
One of the many reasons that vernal pools are so special is that they exist in just a few places on Earth. It takes the right type and combination of natural surface features, soils, and climate for vernal pools to occur.
And here at Prairie City, our rolling grasslands with their raised mounds of earth and shallow surface depressions, our soils with their hard layers of clay that exist just below the surface of the landscape, and our Mediterranean climate, which cycles from hot and dry to cool and wet, all of these natural features combine to create our unique and rare vernal pool habitats. For hundreds of thousands of years, millions of vernal pools are believed to have existed across California's Central Valley. In less than 200 years, 90% of California's ancient vernal pools have been lost forever, due in large part to agricultural development and urbanization.
So please, do your part to help protect vernal pools and all of the living creatures that depend on them for their survival by staying on designated trails and obeying all park signage. And the next time you drive past this beautiful grassland landscape, remember, wildflower rings and the vernal pool tadpole shrimp. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you out here on the trails.